All right, folks, here in video 2, again, we're using sigma. Again, if you look at those formulas, folks, the difference between the z and, so right up here where it says test stats, the difference between z and t is whether or not you have the population standard deviation versus whether you have these samples. So that's what we're going to do on this test. Okay, there it is. Now the next one, quality control. We're going to use T, even though we're given 41, and that should be batteries. Again, there's a lot of typos in this. Mr. Yak did not make this. He just took it from the lovely SIU Carbondale final exam sites, review sites. Thank you to them. There are a lot of typos in there. Because they gave you a sample standard deviation, again, we're making a confidence interval. If you go to the confidence interval ones, notice when you're just given a sample standard deviation, you use the T-star, the T procedure. So I'm actually going to use that. So I'm going to ask you that question using the T-test. So degrees of freedom is 40, and you can look that number up. So 40 is a good one. Degrees of freedom 40, 95% confidence interval. You can just look exactly that up. That's a T-star of 2.021. All right, there we go. There's going to be a 2-sample test. You're given a sample standard deviation. I mean, both n's are less than 30, so it's clear it's got to be a t-test. We want to show that M1 is greater than M2. All right, so that is clearly a one-tailed test. Degrees of freedom is 21, so if you look that up, that's your T-star for your ejection region. And then find your test statistic. It is 2.46. In the rejection region, you're going to reject HO. M1 is greater than M2. Again, pretty much every question I go over is definitely sweet, fair game. Number 11, we've done this one in the past. Calculate the sample proportion. That's pretty easy, 0.49. The test stats. For any proportion, you always use Z. All right, as long as we got that high enough sample. Remember, N times P, when you get bigger than a certain number, it will be. You're not going to reject. This is going to be a 2-sample test. It wanted a 2-samples test. It gave you the hypotheses. We're going to reject it, or not reject it. We do not reject HO, so we can't say that the percentage is different than 44. Folks, just like we talked about before, here's another regression question. You could have 2 of these. This would be a day 2 question. Again, those are the 3 formulas in play. This is how you find B. This is how you find A. No big deal. Okay, it's very easy to use those. That's all the data you need. You're given R right there. This 3 formula is pretty easy. Put it together. There's the, then plug in 47.4. That's Y hat. All right, which indicates the strongest? Negative 0.95 is closest to 1 or negative 1. Again, relatively higher. The reading has a z-score of 0.50. The math has a z-score of 0.40, so he did better on reading. Okay. And then, folks, after that, you need to try this 1 and 2. You could see several. You could see 2 of both of those. That would be a first day question. This is going to be another first day question on Wednesday. I really like this one. This is Binford's Law. This would also be a first day question. This is very easy. Number 4. Here is number 4. Find the probability a selected student is female. It's simply female divided by total. Given that the student is female, so that is the only people we're looking at, that is the denominator. What's the probability there? They're 25 to 34, and it's that 1904 divided by how many females. All right, so number 5 would also be a day 1 question. I like that. That's binomial. Make sure you know how to do that. Number 6. 6 would be a day 1 question as well. All of 6. I like all of 6. We've done, know how to do something like 7. We've done 2 of them already. So I like 7. That is a day 2 question. This would be another day 2 question. I like this. You're going to use the T procedure because you're given S. You're clearly given S. Okay, you're going to use the T. I know you have a sample size of 30, but just T's a stronger test there. So degrees of freedom is 29. 95% confidence interval. That's your T-star. Your margin of error is 0.75. And it's subtracted from 33. There you go. Just know how to do this. This is a total test. Again, for proportion, you use Z. That formula you're given. It's a left tail. It's a left tail. So it's a single tail. Alpha is 0.05. That's your Z. Negative 1.645. Your test stat would actually, so if alpha was 0.01, you would actually not accept. You would actually not reject that, but it's not. It's 0.05. So at alpha's 0.05, we can say that the probability that the proportion, the population proportion, is less than 10%. And finally, folks, I like that one. That's the strongest one. I like this one as well. Just do it. It's just, we've done that one a few times. Disjoint means the probability of one or the other happening is just A plus B, and that's it. They both can't happen. They're disjoint. Folks, that is your second review video. All right, your exam is Wednesday and Thursday. This is Yak Math Videos signing out.